Wrong button.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Flinger here, and today we're going to be talking about the single-player settings that I use, and actually, I think these are probably some of the better single-player settings. They're not going to make you super overpowered. They're not going to try to level out the end game or anything silly like that. They're going to try to keep the game as challenging. They're very close to 1.0 or default, but there are a few different things that I changed just to make a few things different and make things a little bit just run a little bit better. So where, you're not waiting around a super time. Basically, these are the settings that respect your time, but also keep the same level of challenge that everybody else plays with. All right, so, hey, without further ado, let's jump straight into these. All right, so when setting up your server, actually, here, let's go to here. Here is it. Here, this is. So what you want to do is go to custom and then custom settings right down here. Opening this up. Now, this is the one I've been streaming on for a while. So what I do is I change the daytime and the nighttime is one of the first things I do. I would set the daytime to 0.5, so where the daytime actually lasts twice as long. And also I reduce the nighttime speed to 3. That way there, I increase it to 3. That way there, it goes by 3 times faster. So because the larger this is, the faster it goes by. So yeah, means that I like my daytime, but my nighttime goes by really fast. Now, if I get to a spot where I need to go get like some nighttime pals, because there are some pals that only spawn at nighttime, what I'll do is I'll just reduce this down to 1 for a little bit and just go get my nighttime ones, wait until it's nighttime, and then, yeah, and if I want the daytime to go by faster, I'll change that. All right, so let's put this back up to 3. And then we'll go with here. All right, so autosave interval, I keep it at 30 seconds just because if something happens, then, yeah, I want to make sure that my gameplay is saved. So this right here is the default, and I would recommend you keep that there as well. If you want to make it a little bit longer, you can. But, honestly, in my experience, I don't see any reason to do this that way there. If the game crashes or something like that, literally, you have a backup 30 seconds before it crashed. So, yeah, you're good. XP rate. You can change this. Matter of fact, it might be tempting early game to change this, but there are all sorts of different ways of getting tons of XP. Now, if you are going to change this, but then again, it is your game. If you want to change it, change it. But yeah, but I would recommend don't go too far. Like 1.5, in my opinion, is a bit too fast. 1.2 will give you a decent amount of XP. Now, yeah. It'll give you a decent amount. You'll go through at a decent pace, and you will be slightly out-leveled for just about everything you get to at 1.2. At 1.0, the game is balanced around 1.0. Just know that it is. But if you want to make, say, the early game go on longer, being serious, turn this down to 0.5. Let that early game drag on, because the early game, in my opinion, wicked fun. So, yeah. Before you get all the really high-tech stuff, being serious, the early game, and also it means that bow lasts a little bit longer, and you depend on all sorts of different pals a little bit more. Trust me, if you want a nice experience, turn the XP rate down to like 0.3 and just play with that on your own different one. Trust me, it's a totally different experience. It's fun. All right, so pal capture rate, 1.0. You can change this however you want. I keep it default just because I want to keep it as close to default as possible when it comes around to that. Pal appearance rate, I turn this up. Now this, what it says, affects game performance. They're not lying. It does affect game performance. But 1.5, in my opinion, is a nice medium. It means that you'll see a little bit more pals out in the world, but you won't see like doubles, like the spawn, like the bosses. If you turn this up to 2.0, you will see doubles of the bosses. If the open world bosses that you go around, you'll see 2 of them in an area. So, yeah. If you turn it to 1.9, you won't see the multiples, but you'll get a lot of different pals. But if you turn it to 1.5, in my experience, that's a pretty good medium. You can turn this to 1.0, 1.2, but I run mine at 1.5 just because I like to see a lot of pals. All right, damage for pal multiplier, don't change it. None of the damage and stuff do I change just because I want to keep my game as close to default as possible when it comes around to the challenge level. Now, the auto health regeneration, I do change this. I put it to 1.5. That way there, when the pals are put away or I'm just running around, when I'm not in combat, they'll regenerate a little bit faster and just make it so where I can get back into there. Like I said, respectful of your time. Same thing with my hunger, everything like that. All these are kept to 1, except for my auto health regen. That way there, it gets me back in the fight a little bit quicker. So yeah, When it comes around to how difficult the game is, I don't change any of the damage stuff, anything like that. Just how fast I can get back into the fight. All right, now coming down here, max number of items dropped in the world, don't change it. Maximum number of dropped active items in the world, I have that on no limit. If you put this on no limit, you may eventually have some issues with your game, because who knows, there could be some ore that something was farmed way over on the other side of the map and is loading your game. So if you want to, I mean, you can turn this down, say like 500, just where that caps that. I mean, I have mine at at unlimited, but yeah, if you start experiencing lag, that's one of the first things I'd check. All right, gatherable items multiplier, none of this stuff has been changed. Like I said, I want to keep the entire game, the challenge level, I want to keep that intact, but I just want to make it a little bit faster. All right, if you are looking to actually increase your game, make it so where, because you're not in a tribe, you're the only one gathering things. If you want to make this so where you actually gather double resources, by all means, seriously do it. That's a really good way of actually, you know, making the game a little bit fair for single player. It's just increase that up to 1.5. Matter of fact, I may run mine at 1.5 now just to see how I like it for a little bit. Yeah. All right. All of this stuff right here, this is all default. I do not change it except for time H to incubate massive egg. Other eggs also require time to incubate. This right here by default is set. It's set way up here. I set mine to 0. You could set yours to 1 if you want to 6. I set mine to 0 just so where when I am breeding eggs, because I do it on stream and just waiting for the whole clutch of eggs is a pain in the butt. So yeah, I'd set mine on 0 so where my eggs don't incubate at all. I just put them in there and immediately incubate them. If you want to, you could raise this up, try it at 1 and see how it is. Try it at 6, see how it is. However you liked it on that. I put mine at 0. Enable raids, of course. I mean, come on, it's on. Predator Pulse, yeah, it's on. My death penalty. This one right here is the only one that I actually feel a little bit guilty about, is because when I die, I don't want to lose all my stuff. I don't want to have to spend more time going back and getting my stuff. But also, if you have no drops set on, it also turns death into a tool. You want to fast travel? Let's go die somewhere. You can fast travel, which is the reason why, as a point of contention for me. But other than that, yeah, seriously. By default, the game is this right here, drop all pals and all pal teams. I would recommend you change it to probably drop all items or equipment or whichever you want, or no drops. Yeah, it's your game, like I said. Play it however you want. Maximum number of bases per guild. I mean, honestly, I don't know why mine was set so low. I would like to actually have mine set up to, say, like 6. But yeah. So yeah. By default, it's set to 4. But yeah, so set it to however many you want. If you want to have only 1 base or 2 bases, you can set it to 2. But yeah, I would recommend set that to however many bases you envision yourself playing on the map. Maximum number of pals at base. I would recommend you turn this up, especially if you're single player. By default, this is on 15. I have mine set to 30 just because I'd like to have a lot of pals. I like to be productive, and I don't like to, I like to be able to do stuff in my bases. So yeah, maximum number of structures per base, no limit. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're having a little bit of lag, you could change this, but I mean, since 10,000 is still a lot. But this is also, you know, every bed, every foundation, every, ore thing, every crafting bench, everything. Everything counts as a structure. So yeah. Randomization. Honestly, I don't use this. I am planning on probably doing a run through with randomization going on, because I think that could be a lot of fun. But this is how you activate it. If you want to activate randomization, you do this when you're setting it up. Yeah, after you set up the game, you can no longer mess with this, which is why mine is grayed out. But when you're initially setting up the server, set to randomization and have some fun. I mean, yeah, seriously, everything is completely randomized. Yeah. All right, enable fast travel turned on. Restrict fast travel to bases only. I have mine turned off, but yeah. Allow PAL genetic data to be saved in the global PAL box. If you want to use PALs from one save and transfer them to another, you can do it with this button right here. This one right here turns it on and off. All right, so that is my settings that I use, and honestly, I think these are probably some of the better settings for for the game. So, hey, I hope this video helps you out. And also, if you're setting up a server, the name for the egg incubation, this is one of the only ones. A lot of the server providers, they change it. Just search for time on your server setup. Yeah, if you're doing it that way. All right, so hey, anyway, I hope this video helps you out. And yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe. And until next time, this is Flinger. And take it easy, everybody.